When it comes to memory competitions, you need to check all the ins and outs of all the different memory systems and memory techniques you could use, because there are always pros and cons when it comes to using a specific method. For example, if you go to the gym and you do like a bench press, maybe it's a Smith machine, you might not know what that is. It's okay. So essentially it locks the bar into place so you can only move up and down. Now that's great because you keep your form. But if you go to something like free weights, now each arm has to work by itself. So the advantage of free weights is that each arm gets strong, right, together at the same time. But with free weights, you might have the opportunity to kind of slack off on form. Smith machine, you don't have that same problem because it's locked into place, but one arm could be doing more of the load. So you can see how there are some advantages and disadvantages. So let's take something like a binary system. Now people have all sorts of binary systems, but I guess the two main differences are having a cube and having a straight line, taking 6 at a time straight across. So look at it. What is the advantage of this? Well, you can see everything pretty clearly, right? Because it's all in one place. Instead of trying to like read across, you're just like, boom, you look at it, you can see them all. But the disadvantage, look, if you miss up, if you miss one of these boxes up, you can screw up 3 lines at once. And that is a big gamble, right? Because if you only do one specific line, I'm trying to cover my screen even though you're not seeing what I'm seeing. If you do one line and you miss up on it, guess what? You just miss up that one specific line, right? And so when you do a cube, yes, it might be easier to see, you can read it faster, but the chances of screwing up is a lot higher. And when you do screw up, you pay for it. But on the opposite, a straight line, yes, you don't have the same chance of screwing up multiple lines, but you might misread a little bit easier because you're going across. You're not seeing it all in one place to make sure you got it. And so that's what I'm talking about, checking all the ins and out of all these different memory systems and memory techniques, because you might just think, hey, this system I'm using right now is the best one. Or I'm more familiar with it, has no downfall, whatever it may be. But really look at it like, whoa, if I do this, it might be a little bit easier for me. Now, at the end of the day, practice is what makes the most sense when it comes to improvement. You practice, and you get better over time. Now, when you have that down, the system may play a role in it, but it's really up to you to find a system that works for you. Just because you're taking 9 digits at a time as opposed to 6, you might think, oh, it's a better system. Yes, but if you screw up, if you're more prone to kind of screwing up, do you want to screw up 1 line or 3 lines? And so you really do want to think about these things when you're trying to develop your systems, when you're trying to figure out which memory techniques would be the best technique to use to memorize X event, whatever it may be. And so I just want you to be aware of that, because I love the gym. And when I go to the gym, I learn a lot about the body, how it works and stuff. But I can take those same principles and apply it to here, to memory training for a competition, because there are some things that do overlap, like having a system. There's an advantage here, but there's also a disadvantage. Whatever you do, there's an advantage and disadvantage. And it's up to you to find those and try to make your disadvantage as small as possible, because at the end of the day, if you go with a cube method, right, you're always going to have that chance of messing up. And so what do? You train like no other to make sure you're reading all the digits correctly, that you make your mistakes minimal. And so that's all you can do, right? You can never get rid of the chance of, hey, I might screw up and lose 3. It's always going to be there. That's the gamble with this specific system. And so look for those things when you're training, and always ask yourself, okay, what can I do to minimize the disadvantages to my different memory systems and memory techniques that I use? So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.